Most people who carry a credit card balance have no idea they're paying an extra 27 cents on every single dollar they spend. That's not an exaggeration. The average credit card interest rate in the US right now sits above 27%, and the way that interest is calculated is specifically designed so that most people never see it coming. Here's what almost everyone gets wrong about how credit cards work. They think of a credit card like a debit card with a spending limit. Pay something, then pay it back. Simple. But that's not even close to how the math actually works. And the difference quietly costs the average American cardholder over $1,000 a year in interest they didn't have to pay. Stick with this video and you'll understand exactly how the interest machine works, how to legally use it against the credit card companies instead of the other way around, and how to build a strong credit score without ever paying a single dollar in interest. That's not a trick, it's just knowing the rules. Here's the part almost every beginner gets wrong, and it's the most expensive misunderstanding in personal finance. When you carry a balance on a credit card, the interest isn't calculated once a month on whatever you owe. It's calculated daily. Credit card companies take your annual interest rate, that 27% number, and they divide it by 365. That gives them your daily periodic rate, which right now is roughly 0.074% per day. Tiny, right? Don't be fooled. Here's where it bites. Say you carry a $3,000 balance. Every single day you're being charged about $222 in interest. That's $66 in 1 month just for holding that balance. Over a year, that's nearly $800 on a $3,000 balance. And that's before the interest starts compounding on itself. Compound interest means the bank charges you interest on your interest. The longer you carry the balance, the faster the number climbs. Here's the uncomfortable math. If you owe $3,000 and you only make the minimum payment each month, usually around 2% of the balance, it will take you over 14 years to pay it off, and you'll pay roughly $3,600 in interest alone. You'll pay more in interest than you originally borrowed. That's the machine. Now let's talk about the one feature that lets you use it for free. This is the feature almost nobody explains properly. And once you understand it, everything changes. Every credit card has something called a billing cycle. It's typically 30 days. At the end of that cycle, your card issuer adds up everything you spent and sends you a statement. That statement has a balance and a due date. The gap between the statement closing date and your due date is called the grace period. By law, it has to be at least 21 days. Here's the key. If you pay your full statement balance by the due date, you pay zero interest, not a reduced amount. Zero. The credit card company lent you that money for 30+ days completely free. But, and this is the tension, the grace period only protects you if you pay the entire statement balance. Not the minimum payment. Not most of it. All of it. The moment you leave even $1 unpaid, you lose the grace period. Not just on what you didn't pay, on everything. New purchases you make immediately start accruing that daily interest with no grace period at all until you clear the balance completely. This is why people who carry a balance feel like they can never catch up. They paid most of it, felt fine, and didn't realize the clock was ticking on every new coffee, every gas fill-up, every grocery run from the moment they swiped. Pay the full statement balance. That's the entire game. But knowing that raises one big question. What counts toward your credit score, and do you need to carry a balance to build credit? The answer might surprise you. Let's kill the most expensive myth in personal finance right now. You do not need to carry a balance to build credit. That idea has cost Americans billions of dollars in unnecessary interest. We're not sure where it started, but it is completely false. Here's how credit scores actually work. The most widely used score is your FICO score, which runs from 300 to 850. 5 things determine it. Your payment history is the biggest factor. It makes up 35% of your score. Second is credit utilization, the percentage of your available credit you're using, at 30%. The length of your credit history is 15%. Your credit mix is 10%. And new credit inquiries make up the final 10%. Notice what's not on that list. Whether you paid interest. The credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, don't know or care if you paid interest. They track whether you paid on time and how much of your limit you're using. So here's the winning formula. Use the card regularly for normal everyday spending. Groceries, subscriptions, gas. Keep your balance below 10% of your credit limit at any given time. That's your utilization. And pay the full statement balance every single month by the due date. If your credit limit is $2,000, try to never let your reported balance go above $200. That keeps your utilization at 10%, which is the range that helps your score the most. And since you're paying it in full, you're building a perfect payment history without paying a penny in interest. That's the system. Use the card, pay it off. Your score climbs, your wallet stays intact. The trick is making sure you actually pay it on time every time. And there's one simple setup that makes that automatic. Here's a frustrating truth. One missed payment can drop your credit score by 100 points or more. Just one. And most people who miss don't miss because they can't pay, they miss because they forgot. The fix takes about 3 minutes and you only do it once. Set up auto pay on your credit card account for the full statement balance. Not the minimum payment, the full statement balance. You log into your card's website or app, find the auto pay settings and select statement balance as the amount. Link it to your checking account. Done. Now every month, the day your payment is due, the full balance gets pulled automatically. Your payment history stays perfect. Your grace period resets. You never pay interest. And you never have to think about it. One important note, make sure your checking account always has enough to cover your typical monthly spending. This system only works if the autopay doesn't fail due to insufficient funds. A good habit is to roughly track what you've spent on the card during the month, so there are no surprises when autopay hits. This single setup is the backbone of using credit cards the right way. Payment history protected, interest avoided, credit score growing quietly in the background. Now let's talk about the rewards side, because this is where it actually starts to feel like you're winning. Here's where the rules flip in your favor. Credit card interest from people who carry balances and interchange fees. Small transaction fees merchants pay every time you swipe your card. When you pay your balance in full every month, you're not giving them the interest, but they're still collecting interchange fees every time you use the card. And to keep you using it, they share a slice of those fees back with you as rewards, cash back, points, or miles. The average cashback card returns between 1.5% and 2% on purchases. Some cards offer 3% to 5% on specific categories like groceries or gas. If you spend $2,000 a month on a card with a flat 2% cashback rate, that's $40 back every month, $480 a year, just for spending money you were already going to spend. Now here's the critical condition. Rewards only make sense when you're paying in full. If you're carrying a balance at 27% interest and earning 2% back, you are not winning. You are losing 25 cents on every dollar. The rewards are the carrot that keeps people overspending and carrying balances. Don't take the bait. Use the card for your normal budgeted spending. Pay it off completely every month. Let the rewards accumulate as a bonus, not as a goal that changes how you spend. That's the difference between using rewards and being used by them. There's one more layer to this, the types of cards themselves, and knowing which one fits your situation can make a real difference, especially if you're just starting out. Not every credit card is right for every person, and picking the wrong one is a common beginner mistake. If you're brand new to credit, no credit history at all, most standard rewards cards will reject your application. That's where a secured credit card comes in. A secured card requires a small deposit, usually $200 to $500, which becomes your credit limit. You use it exactly like a regular card, pay it off monthly, and it reports to all 3 credit bureaus. After 6 to 12 months of on-time payments, most issuers will upgrade you to a regular unsecured card and return your deposit. It's the cleanest path from no credit to good credit. If you already have decent credit, a no annual fee cashback card is the simplest and most beginner-friendly. Citi or Capital One offer solid flat-rate cash back with no annual fee, meaning every dollar in rewards is pure benefit. Premium travel cards with annual fees can make sense later, but only if the rewards and perks genuinely exceed the fee. A $95 annual fee card needs to return at least $95 in value you'd actually use, or it's just a cost. Do that math before you apply. One more thing, every credit card application creates a hard inquiry on your credit report, which temporarily dips your score by a few points. Don't apply for multiple cards at once. Pick one card that fits your current situation, use it well for at least a year, and let the score grow before you think about adding another. Let's bring it all together because the whole system is simpler than the credit card industry wants you to believe. Credit cards charge interest daily using a rate that averages above 27% annually right now. That interest is calculated on your daily balance and compounds, meaning debt left unpaid grows fast, sometimes faster than you can pay it down. But you can sidestep all of that with one rule. Pay your full statement balance by the due date every single month. When you do, the grace period protects you. You pay zero interest, and your credit score climbs steadily on the back of a perfect payment history. Set up AUTOPAY for the full statement balance, so you never accidentally miss. Keep your credit utilization below 10% of your limit. Use the card for normal spending you'd already do. And let the cashback rewards come to you as a bonus, not a reason to change how you spend. You don't need to carry debt to build credit. You never did. You just needed to know the rules. Now that you understand how credit cards work, the next thing that quietly undoes all of this is not having a budget that actually works. Because without one, spending creeps above what you can pay off each month. And suddenly you're back in the interest trap. That video is a great one to watch next. If this video helped you, subscribe to Plain Money for more clear, no-fluff personal finance explainers. Drop a comment and tell me, are you currently paying your card in full each month? Or is this something you're working toward? I read everyone.